As you well know, 6 hostages were found murdered just over the weekend. There could be dozens more still alive. How would you act differently to get them home?
What I would do is apply tremendous pressure on Hamas, pressure that is not being used now. For example, Israel right now is allowing huge, vast amounts of fuel and other resources into the Strip, and all of this goes directly to Hamas, and that's giving them the lifeline to continue holding out.
When President Biden was asked Monday if Netanyahu was doing enough to reach a hostage deal, he said point blank, no. Just tonight, Netanyahu's nemesis, Benny Gantz, said he does not look directly at the public and tell the truth. He claims Netanyahu is less interested in cutting a deal and more interested in simply staying in power by appealing to Israel's right. Would you agree?
I think the most important thing in order to get this done is to apply tremendous pressure. And right now, we're operating at about 5% intensity. We have very few forces right now in the Gaza Strip. There's not a real war going on. There's minor presence of IDF. This is not how you win a war. If you want to win a war, you got to fight 200%, not 5%.
And I would add, just as a question, because you're suggesting that it's not a full-on war, when you have more than 40,000 people who have died at this point, Palestinians, at what cost does Israel defend itself?
Well, a great deal of that number, I would say over 50%, are terrorists. And I think we all agree that it's a wonderful thing when murderers and terrorists disappear. That's what you did to bin Laden, and that's what we're doing to these horrible, horrible murderers. So that's a good thing. Actually, our ratio of collateral damage is one of the lowest in history of urban warfare. Now, the fact that there are, let's say, 20,000 Gaza civilians have died, it's because Hamas deliberately wanted them to die because they embedded themselves within civilians. So the blame and responsibility falls only on Hamas, not on Israel. When you're a coward and you go and murder and rape Israelis, and then you run back and hide behind your own family, then you are responsible for killing your own family.
You've said you don't believe in a two-state solution. Why not a two-state solution, and what would be your proposed solution?
Because they'll kill us.
There's no way to live in peace.
Not with people who want to kill you. What we've learned over the past 30 years is every time we gave the Palestinians a piece of land, instead of building it into a beautiful Singapore, they turned it into a terror state and began killing Israelis. It happened first time in the 90s when we did Oslo. It happened the second time in 2005 when we gave them all of the Gaza Strip and they began shooting rockets at us, and later on October 7th. We're not going to kill ourselves a third time. It's a horrible, horrible idea to inject a terror state on our borders.
But isn't Hamas separate from the will of the Palestinian people?
The Palestinian people elected Hamas in democratic elections.
Right, but there are Palestinians there who are saying that they could live in peace, right? Let me ask you this way.
Yeah, there are, but it's a very minority. It's a minority. In every poll, and the most important poll of elections, out of 132 seats in parliament, Hamas got 76. That's much more than 50%. So if the Palestinians elected Hamas, and Hamas is a murderous organization, we've got a problem. I'm certainly not going to give these people an opportunity to kill me.
So what's the solution in your mind?
The solution is for Israel to be incredibly strong, maximum security for Israel, minimum friction between Israelis and Palestinians. We don't want to govern the Palestinians, and under those 3 principles, I think we can go a very long way.
Former Prime Minister of Israel, Naftali Bennett, we thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate your time.